Hello, boys and girls. It's the Off the Woodwork podcast channel here, and we have just finished recording our weekly podcast. And we thought, why not just go straight into our new, shorter kind of segment video thing that we're going to be doing.
We'll come up for a good name for it eventually.
What are we doing today, Matt?
What are we doing today? Well, we're discussing who are the worst fans in football.
Not just football, though, right?
Oh, we could do other sports as well. Well, I mean,
if we have time, we can talk about other sports.
If we want to throw some in, looking at you, Dallas Cowboys.
Looking at you, Dallas Fuel.
What have Dallas Cowboys done to you, Ant?
Oh, the fans are just United fans.
Okay. Let's. Okay, we'll try and talk about that maybe a bit later. Oh, I tell you what, it's an absolutely miserable day.
Who wants to start it off?
Yeah, let's start it off before.
Well, I've been saying over so many podcasts that they're terrible fans, so I'll start off and say Leeds. Leeds,
here we go.
Honestly, last season, I understand if Leeds were talking shit in the Brentford. Every time Brentford put something on Twitter, last season, I understand. Yeah, we're rivals in promotion. I'd understand, but this season, Leeds are in the Premier League. And we're still in the Championship. They're still doing it. They're still giving us grief. It's you're in the Premier League now. Why are you still bothering to attack us?
This is due to some Twitter trolls. This is due to some Twitter trolls.
They do it for every team. They just, they just talk shit about every other team. It's just so pathetic.
Oh man, you getting quite.
I was gonna say that seems like something you've been holding in for a while, Stephen. Yeah. Do you need a hug?
No. It's just they are so pathetic. They are.
I mean, okay, there's
right. I get what you're saying, and I do agree on some points. But would you argue though that Leeds do have one of the more die-hard, passionate fan bases? When you see, saw their promotion celebrations. You know what I mean? That's the point. It is a good and a bad thing.
Well, you talked about Everton last week having Napoleon syndrome. I think Leeds have probably got it worse. They got worse Napoleon syndrome.
Yeah, no, but the reason why Leeds collapsed was due to poor financial reasons. The reason Everton haven't won anything since 1994. Even before that, they still weren't as big a deal as their neighbours.
Well, I don't know, because let's think about this. So Leeds have always been in history the notorious team since the 1960s for being one of the most hated teams in English football. And is that a reflection on their fan? Do you think that's a reflection on their fan base as well in that regard?
Maybe. I think. To be honest, they've been hated since the 60s. Most of the fans from the 60s aren't really around anymore, are they? So
Leeds fans spend more time hating on other teams than supporting their own team.
No, but my point is that do you think there's a stigma from throughout history now that their fans could do absolutely nothing, but due to the fact that it's almost like you're brought up on this Leeds fans or this.
Absolutely.
I've seen it in practice. I've seen it in practice. Every time Brentford puts something on Twitter, even now we're in different leagues, Leeds fans are still all over it.
Well, you know what you need to do.
Obsessed. They're obsessed.
You know what you need to do then.
What?
Get promoted and be better than Leeds.
Oh, tried that, failed that, didn't fancy that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, growing up as a Chelsea fan, I was always I'd ask my dad who are Chelsea's biggest rivals, and obviously. He'd say the likes of Tottenham, the likes of Liverpool, and then it would also be Leeds up there, apparently, because over the years...
The only one I'd agree with there is Tottenham, because I don't like I say, I get why the bigger teams are rivals because they're the big teams. But, Liverpool and Manchester United have got it being the two clubs that have been top teams for decades, and they are in the same vicinity. And there are rivalries even between the cities. There is a rivalry between the two cities. But for Chelsea, when I was growing up, even though I'm not I'm not a Chelsea fan, in my head, their biggest rivals were always Arsenal.
Yeah, I could see that maybe. Problem is nowadays I just laugh at Arsenal instead.
Arsenal have the worst fans, but also the best fans.
Okay, let me explain. Talk to me about that then.
They're the worst fans because of how toxic they are. They're the best fans to go and watch as a neutral when Arsenal are doing bad.
Absolutely.
Arsenal fans TV, when Arsenal are playing, whenever Arsenal have lost a game, I'm like, oh yes, where's DT? Where's Troops? And I'm on. I never watch when they've won because it's not fun. But when they lost,
bad is good. I think that sums up Arsenal fans. So bad they're good.
Oh, they're meme worthy though. They're meme worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they are a meme. They've literally been turned into a meme for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, I would say
But the way Arsenal fans
great.
treated Emery, treated Wenger, have treated Xhaka in the past, I don't have a lot of time for Arsenal fans because of it. The way they treated
Well, I want to
Xhaka.
stay in London. I'm going to say, not necessarily they're bad fans. They're just like they're like the modern football fan. It's Fulham. Fulham fans are the most middle class, prawn sandwich eating Tory fans in the entire English football. They are so.
Wait, they are Tory fans. What about Chelsea? They're literally in.
Basically,
Chelsea.
Fulham is like where all the middle class people who don't want to mix with all the commoners go.
Yeah, Chelsea, mate. I'm on, mate.
Chelsea. I mean, I was going to make a joke about Chelsea fans back in the day, but I've made plenty to Matt in the past. I don't think he cares for them.
To sum up Fulham, they have a mixed stand. I think that sums up Fulham to a T. They have a mixed stand. They're the most plastic,
I've been there.
Pathetic, middle class.
I've been sat in that.
I disagree with that point. I disagree with that point about mixed stands being like plastic. I wish that football had it where fans were more were able to mix more. Like, cause I've been to rugby games where I'm watching Scotland play Wales, and I'm in the support of Scotland, and there's someone who's supporting Wales behind me, and like we're having a good conversation about the sport.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's not right.
No, but that's the way it should be. You should be
wrong. No.
You should be able to go to sports games and discuss with rival fans without it ending in violence or in like words.
No one's saying it ends in violence.
Well, no, but certain ones do. Look at Celtic Rangers. Like,
I'm just imagining now. Nah,
but
what
ones if you want to go? If you don't have any mixed stands. If they don't have any mixed stands, what if you want to go to a game with your friend? Let's say Chelsea v Tottenham. Your friends.
Mate,
what are you going to go into the? Are they going to go into the rival end, or is he going to come into the rival end? That's why mixed is better because you can.
It's a very safe, family-friendly sort of club.
I've seen these situations before.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It is. That's not what football's all about. If you want to go watch golf or something.
You do realise you guys are talking about football like the way people used to think about it, being like a sport for like hooligans. You should be able to go with your family to watch the football game, Stephen.
Okay, all right, okay. So you're a Liverpool fan, so would you be happily going to sit in the Everton stand?
If I had Everton fans in my family, probably. I've been to pubs in Liverpool where it's heavily mixed because obviously but the thing with Liverpool Everton rivalry is it's different. You do get it where different family members in the same family are like support different teams. Like, for instance, my dad, when he was extremely young, because his older brother supported Liverpool, he wanted to support Everton to be different. As he got older, he realised that was stupid. But
does that mean he's a plastic fan?
Oh, he was like 5 at the time, Matt. He started supporting Liverpool when he was 7.
There's another team in English. There's another team in English football we haven't talked about yet. MK Dons.
MK.
They've got to be the most plastic fans in the country.
I went to
Stadium MK. I've been there, and honestly, their fans never sung once. And as you know, they did. They had one chant in the 85th. They had one chant in the 85th minute, and they were chanting "Franchise Army." That was their chant.
No.
Oh, that's not.
Here's what I'm going to say. Man City, because Man City fans are so split. You either have fans of that who have been fans of Man City for decades, or you've got new fans who've come with the money. You know what I mean? With Man City, you've either got the diehard fans who've been supporters of that club throughout their life, and then you have the new fans who've come in the last decade. You know what I mean? Like, Man City it's hard to tell nowadays who supports Man City because they grew up supporting Man City and who supports them now just because they're good.
The Gallaghers.
I talked about how Fulham fans are all safe and family friendly. I think that's basically the whole MLS. Any MLS team has shit fans. They don't know.
But American sports in general are a lot more family friendly. You go watch American sports games.
They just don't know how to do football chants.
If I may, let's not generalize that to just football fans in America. Let's generalize that to any single sport fan in America.
They don't do chants though the same way. Let's be real. Have you ever been to American sports games? Well, I mean, I watch a lot of American sport. You know, I was staying up watching the playoffs all the time for the basketball. I watch the NFL every week. But like the way that is different. It's a different atmosphere. You go with your family. You know, college like football in America, or college American football in America, they're getting like 100,000 people coming every week to watch a university team play. It is a family thing. The Super Bowl, like they have like apparently like their whole it's just different. It's very hard to compare what they're like in stadiums because the atmosphere is very different.
Well, they only have two chances. Defense for USA. That's the only two chances they have.
No, but the defense-offense thing has always been that way.
Which is also the new Christian Pulisic chant.
What I will say, though, is about... Because the easiest place to talk about bad American sports fans is online. The ones that just spout a bunch of nonsense. Such as the Cowboys. Such as the Lakers. I like the Lakers because, I'm a LeBron fan. But the Lakers fans are so toxic. But here's my pick for the fans I dislike the most in sport. Real Madrid fans.
Yeah. That's exactly where I was going, young Anthony. That is exactly where I was going. Let's talk about them. Real Madrid. Why are they... I
still haven't forgiven them for the way they treat Casillas on his way out.
Not just the way they treat Casillas. The way they treat everybody. This is the problem about Madrid. I've had enough of this sort of thing that goes around in football, that playing for Real Madrid is the all and end all of football.
Because they are the biggest team.
Yeah, but it means, like, you go to Madrid, right? If you don't perform well in that first 3 months, maybe 6 months, them fans turn on you like that. I mean... Yeah,
they turn on you.
They are toxic.
What I will say is some of the... Like, some players do get a chance. Like, Luka Modric was hated when he first went, and now he's loved. Well, maybe not like right now, but a couple of years ago, he was loved by the Madrid fans. I just think there's a lot more pressure with playing for Madrid. What I mean is, the end of the day, Real Madrid is the biggest team in the world. I'm not going to hear anything about it. They've been the biggest team in Europe since the 50s. There is Real Madrid. It's they're all white. They are the biggest team. Doesn't mean the fans aren't a bunch of wet wipes. You talk about fickle fans. You talk about fickle fans.
They threw white handkerchiefs on the pitch before, haven't they? When they were unhappy with the way they were going, weren't they? Didn't they do that?
That's common in Spain, though. That's not just them. That's quite a common thing in Spanish football.
Spanish football.
With Real Madrid, it's perfection or nothing. You have to be perfect, or you're just gone.
But it is because they have such a high standard. When you look at some of the players that come through the doors at Real Madrid, you can literally make a start 11 and it's close to being the greatest ever team. I mean, like the number of players that have come through that team. That's the difference between them and Barcelona. If you actually think about it, Barcelona before Cruyff showed up were pretty poor. Then Cruyff showed up, and then he left. Then they were poor again. Then he came in as a manager, and then once again they were a bit poor in the 90s. Barcelona have only been what we know them as one of the top teams in Europe for like the last 20 years.
Born and raised, growing up watching Chelsea versus Barcelona. Oh, some lovely games there.
What do you think of Barcelona fans? I don't like Barcelona because of the way they get away with like how they tap up players, like the Coutinho saga.
Yeah,
like, but any other club would have been penalised heavily. I don't like them for that.
But how would you reflect that on their fan base? That's
what I mean. That's why I asked about what you guys think about the fans. I'm saying I don't like the club per se.
I can't say I have
or the owners.
I can't say I have much to say about
strong opinions, to be honest.
I mean, yeah. They were part of one of the worst football games I've ever been to back in 2009. But that's about it, really.
What about Manchester United fans?
They're not that bad.
Mate, they're not terrible. It's more, again, with United, it's more...
Nowhere near as bad as Liverpool fans.
Oh, be quiet. That's not even true.
Okay, right.
This whole idea about Liverpool fans is like ridiculous. Half the time, it's not... Like, don't get me wrong, there are some dickhead Liverpool fans out there. But that's the same for every team.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and you think about it, like Liverpool fans right now are talking big because they are a good team. They're allowed to. If you're one of the best teams...
It's the first time in the world their arrogance is actually being backed up.
No, for the last few years, they've been a top team, Stephen.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, but for a long time, it wasn't backed up. And now, like, they're never actually arrogant because they are the best team in England.
They were arrogant when we nearly won the league with Suarez in the team because we were one of the top teams that season. So we're allowed to be
Best
arrogant
season
then.
ever.
If it goes down to one of the final game days, you're allowed to be arrogant up till you've lost the league.
Yes, I mean, for the longest time they didn't have a reason to, but recently I would say they have more of a reason to back it up now.
No, but the thing I hate is this whole stigma about how Liverpool fans are always quick to go, like whenever they've been wronged, they're very vocal about it. Is Liverpool fans have had to be vocal about when they've been wronged, because because obviously we've because we are the journalism course, we've discussed one of the big reasons why Liverpool fans have to be vocal when they've been wronged. That's why it's ingrained in them. Liverpool fans have always had a to them against us because the way they've been treated by the media. So this whole thing about Liverpool fans are trash. Like they're like a bunch of they're really annoying. A lot of the time it's due to the fact that they've had like the way they've been labelled.
It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Definitely.
No, but that's my point. Yeah. Liverpool fans
do get a lot of shit.
We get whenever no team when they play badly gets as much shit as we do, besides maybe Manchester United. Those two teams, I think, are the two most disliked teams in England because everyone wants to see them play badly. Everyone wants to see those two teams lose because they're the two biggest teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it can be true that both Liverpool fans are annoying and people talk too much shit about. I think both can be true.
But I think that's the problem. A lot of people go, "Oh, Liverpool fans are the worst," so I'm going to talk shit about them. But then those people go, "Well, hang on, they're talking shit about my team. I'm going to defend my team."
Yeah, it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
If Liverpool like against Villa, I'm not gonna defend it. You know, like we played badly. Everyone has the right to take the piss out of us. But when it's like for instance, Van Dijk's injury, I've seen people online going, "Oh, big up Pickford, well done, so happy he did that." And I'm like, mate, if you're happy that a player's been injured like that, go get help. Because if that's something you get enjoyment in, you're not right in the head. Because you're celebrating.
People are acting like Van Dijk's died or something. I think I still find that hilarious.
But see,
but it doesn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't help your case when Liverpool fans are making messages to him.
Well, no, but it's the same. Hang on. Everyone was doing the same for Laporte when he got injured last year.
Well, it's Man City, they're plastic. Like, who cares?
No. But what I mean is, other sets of fans were doing the same thing. They were going, "Oh, it's heartbreaking. He just got caught up to France. Hope he recovers soon."
Yeah.
Everyone was doing it.
I think there's one sort of outstanding factor that we haven't really touched upon, really, and that is in general, just it's fans who are on Twitter hiding behind the old football.
Oh, they're the worst. They're the worst.
For any team, they are the worst. I'm telling you, for Chelsea as well, we got a lot of them, and they just.
I think if you're going to look for somewhere. Because so whenever there's a Liverpool game on, I follow like what fans are saying on Reddit. Like they have like their daily like the game like thread. Yeah. And even they're all like, "Oh, the Liverpool fans on Twitter are just the worst."
Oh, but
it's the same
fans
with
on
everything
Twitter in general.
I use Reddit to go look at game day like kind of like threads because I think there's a lot more like I don't want to say intelligence, but Twitter people are on there deliberately trying to wind each other up. They're trying to.
Yeah, I think I should actually do a correction. When I said Leeds fan, I mean Leeds fans on Twitter mostly. I think Leeds fans in real life are not too bad. I think it's the Leeds fans on Twitter who are like
our agreement is all Twitter fans suck.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's the same at Chelsea. I mean, there's like, for example, there's this one fan who's a Chelsea fan, well, supposedly, and he's kind of got a profile picture of Cillian Murphy in Peaky Blinders, which one makes no sense. And he's just always spurting absolute.
No, that's clearly Cillian Murphy.
Okay, unless it's kid.
If their profile picture is Cillian Murphy or Conor McGregor, you know they're an arsehole.
And that's true. They're just spurting nonsense the entire time.
I'm the alpha male. Listen to me.
And I suppose you've got no proof that it isn't me. So.
So what? See, the thing is, I don't even think it's every. I think there's a lot of people on Twitter who do discuss it well, but they get drowned out by the shit stars. You know what I mean? Like I follow a lot of like journalists who kind of live tweet the games, and you see like their chat threads, and some people make really good points or ask really good questions, or you have the others. So like
also there are
Liverpool, Liverpool, lol. It's like grow up, mate. What are you, 10?
I mean that's basically trolls. To be fair, there's also a lot of football fans on Twitter who are quite good. For example, I'm thinking HLTCO from Crystal Palace. He's got a very good Twitter page.
My favourite thing to do I never comment anything, but it's quite funny as to what goal. So let's say I did it more for the basketball, but you can do it in any sport. So let's say Liverpool playing Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're a Liverpool fan, and Liverpool
Yeah.
winning, let's say 2-0 in this scenario. Go onto the Chelsea Reddit page and their game day threads, just look at the fans being like, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? My mate always says to me this. It'll be like the Chelsea lineup's been announced on Twitter, and then all of a sudden you just got people like saying, "Where's this player? Where's this player?" It's like, and then when it's like the transfer season, they just go to announce this player, announce this player. Oh, it's fun. It's amusing, is what it is. It is amusing.
The worst thing on Twitter I've seen recently, and it sums up, I guarantee you most Twitter football fans were discussing, will be doing this, is the whole ratio thing.
The ratio thing.
Like basically someone tweets something. Someone tweets something, right? Yeah. You reply to the tweet going, catch this ratio, because it's supposed to be that tweet then gets more likes and retweets than the previous one. It's a really stupid thing. Oh no, it happens quite a lot. It's really stupid. Really? Same with the did I ask thing. You know, that someone tweets something, it's like, when did I?
Oh man, I will look out for that.
No, but the thing is, I think that's a younger thing, because my brother does it to annoy me, and I don't get it. And he's 16, so I guess it's that.
Okay, let's turn a bit lighter now, shall we? We've spoken about teams where we don't like the fans. Let's talk about teams where we do like the fans. Stephen,
Liverpool.
Take us away. No, Stephen, take us away.
The vast majority of German football fans are, I think, in my opinion, are the best in the world.
I'd agree.
Like Leipzig.
Apart from Leipzig, pretty much anyone apart from Leipzig, and maybe not Hoffenheim either.
We hate Hoffenheim in here.
What about Bayern fans? I've heard mixed reports on Bayern fans.
Bayern fans are great. Bayern fans
really? I've heard mixed reports depending on who you ask.
I've always been all right with Bayern fans. When I've been to Chelsea
I think Dortmund
games,
fans are the best though.
So I take when we're talking about best fans, we're not talking about like who's the like most passionate on like nights, like on game nights. We're talking about like who are actually liked. Because you'll get people going
Dortmund
like,
fans are really good.
You get like Celtic fans going about, our fans are the best. It's like, no, because you guys you guys are passionate. Doesn't mean you're great.
I'd argue.
If we're talking about just pure passion, I'll probably say Liverpool. But it's also bad. It's good and bad.
That's what I mean.
Definitely.
So passionate, while that's in a way great fans because they are dedicated. We're talking about great fans for like just like how they act and like the respectfulness kind of thing.
I'd argue Dortmund fans are probably the most respected in football.
I'd probably say Dortmund. I can't really think of any other team immediately who like
Ajax?
Really don't have. Yeah, Ajax are a good shout as well. Ajax fans are pretty solid. Although once again, I don't know what that's like in the domestic league.
Well, actually, I've got another shout. Japanese national team fans.
Well, Japanese national team as a whole.
That is a niche. Talk to me about that because I don't have a Scooby about it.
Because I know you saw during any international tournament, after the game, the Japanese fans will go and clean up their mess from the stadium. And same with the players. The players will actually clean up after like they lose a game. They'll clean up the dressing room and leave like a thank you note and stuff. So just the dedication from it's very it's just part of the culture really, just to be respectful.
That's nice.
Stuff.
Large up Japan.
Once again, I'm going to enter into another sport, but I'm going to say the Toronto Raptors as well for basketball. They didn't win this year finals; they won last year. But it's like a lot of people don't like Lakers fans or the Golden State fans. Like basically, whenever a team's doing well in the NBA, everyone hates that team,
right?
Especially if it's a team that
probably how it works.
Well, no, but if it's a team that's filled with like three like all-star players, then no one else stands a chance. And that's why they're disliked. But Toronto Raptors, obviously part of the reason why everyone wanted them to win that year was they were up against that super team Golden State. But you see more positive things about how they interact with other fans. Like, yeah, you get a few trolls, but like, for instance, because I support Brooklyn Nets, when we played Toronto in the season, not the playoffs, and we beat them, you had Toronto fans coming into like the Reddit page and being like, well done, guys, like, great game. We didn't play well, but that doesn't take away from you guys. So I'm like, fair play to that. Because like, if I think it's when you get fans who are like, you know what I mean? Like when you have like almost everyone can do it, but you still get people who just don't. Like you can admit a team you don't like if they've done well or they've, have a player that's doing well, you can complement it. I mean, I don't like Manchester United, but I think Bruno Fernandes is a brilliant player. Or I really like Marcus Rashford as a person.
Yeah, well, most people do, I think.
But that's what I mean. There's a lot of people who can't admit that. They can't admit anything positive about the team
I'd
that's their rivals.
I'd always happily admit. It's like a few years ago when Tottenham were playing really well. I mean, even though, I'm supposed to hate Tottenham, I can admit when they're doing well and when they've got good players. Like for me, I think Son's absolutely class. I think he's a top player. And I don't mind admitting that.
That's what I mean. I think it's one of those things.
Talking back on fans, do you know who I've always had quite a soft spot for in terms of fans in the Premier League? I've always quite enjoyed Newcastle fans.
I was literally about to say that as well. I mean, they got the right balance of being passionate but not being annoying.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I don't really have as strong an opinion as you guys.
Yeah.
But
only
I
because
get what you mean.
I think it's because Newcastle's one of the sort of away games I've been to with Chelsea as well, and I've been to the city and to the matches. And I have to admit, when I went up there, they were absolutely lovely. I mean, I was quite young at the time.
There's a few teams I like, and I don't really have a bad thing to say about the fans, but I can't really think about anything like that stands out for why I rate the teams like Wolves or Southampton or Leicester that we all kind of like. When Leicester won the league, no one disliked Leicester.
Yeah.
Wolves, no one seems to dislike Wolves. But I don't know if that's anything to do with the fans or just to do with the club in general. You know what I mean?
I've been to Molineux. They were all right. Nice fans.
Yeah. Again, maybe it comes down to history a bit. Maybe obviously Wolves were a big team in the 50s. So maybe there's something around them lines.
What about? Can we think of any teams in France? Again, Italy. I can't really think of anything.
Who cares about them?
The thing with Italy, the problem is Italy have got a lot of racist fans, so we don't really want to send them to.
I don't. I suppose you get that everywhere. To be honest, unfortunately.
You don't get it as much in certain leagues, though.
Well, talk about passion. What about Serbian fans like Partizan?
If we're talking about passion, let's talk about any Turkish club in general.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Out that way, they're all mental, aren't they? And it's like walking into.
I think even though Reds aren't that good of a team, people dread playing them because their fans are absolutely mental.
They are mental, yeah.
So,
in terms of, like you said, Italy and France, and I haven't really got much of an opinion. I can't say I was a big fan of Napoli fans. I can't say. And that's only going from watching Chelsea over the years. Like when Chelsea played Napoli in 2012, probably the best game I've ever been.
You hear more negative stories about Italian fans than positive ones.
They were all coming in the Chelsea end, and they were all sort of
going. But what I mean is, I only ever hear stories about Italian fans when it's to do with racist chants. And that's not me to say, they're all, because I'd be stupid to make such a sweeping statement. But what I mean is, you rarely hear of like Dortmund fans. You always hear positive things. You rarely hear positive fan elements when talking about Italian sides. You only tend to hear about negative ones. But obviously that's because those are the ones that make the news. I can't really think of any other teams that come to mind. I think Atletico Madrid fans are all right.
And we've gone on for quite a long time, actually. So have to cut some
let's
of this down.
up.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up then.
Okay.
So, that's our thoughts on. That's our thoughts on fans, and I guarantee we've at least annoyed at least one person somewhere in the world with what we said.
You'd hope so, and we've probably almost definitely forgotten about somebody or some club. But this is only a little short.
I forgot to mention Millwall.
Oh, Millwall! I forgot. We can spend another hour.
I got a personal story about Millwall, but I think we're kind of running out of time a bit.
Yeah, no, we could spend an hour on Millwall, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we won't, because we've all got stuff to do, haven't we? So thank you for joining us for this first video that we've done like this.
As I said, we will come up with a fancy inventive title for what we're going to call this series, but
eventually
it might just be pretty boring. But we'll figure out a name for it. We'll do it.
We'll see how it goes. And on that note, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers. I'm Matt Perry, joined by Anthony Milne and Stephen Hall.
Ta-ra.
Bye.